Okay, let's hear from our race winner tonight, and certainly what an exciting finish we had in the 20th Annual Ford EcoBoost 300. Our race winner is Matt Kenseth. He drove the number 20 GameStop Rock Candy Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. He's joined by his crew chief, Kevin Kidd. This is Matt's 29th NASCAR Nationwide Series win, his first win in 2014, second time he's come to victory lane here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Congratulations, Matt. Certainly a very exciting race and very, very exciting there towards the end. Just talk about the closing laps and how you made the move there to get this win.
Well, we kept getting those restarts at the end of the race, and the first couple we got away okay. I felt good about it. And then the second to last one there, I felt like I had a good run and made it through 1 and 2 wide open, and Kyle just got right on my left rear there and kind of motored past me and cleared me getting into 3. So pretty much knew it was over, and thankfully got another caution and doubled us back up, and I was able to get rolling good on that second one and get back by him. So we had a really good car tonight, especially on a short to mid-range run. And that kind of fell into our hands, except for the last 2 or 3 cautions we didn't need. But it kind of worked out where we got in front and had the speed on the front side of the run where we needed it.
And Kevin, congratulations on this win. I know this is an important, special win for you. Just talk about some of the things that the crew did to help get this victory.
Yeah, it's certainly a great victory for us as a team. The core group of our team, we've been together now for about 5 years, and it's been a little bit of a dry spell. So I'm really happy to see a lot of those guys get into victory lane. Some for the first time. That just means a lot to me personally. To see those guys with smiles on their face and really happy to celebrate a win. It's a total team effort. Everybody on our team works really hard week in and week out. Just very happy that we could all celebrate together.
And Coach Joe Gibbs, congratulations on this win. I know how much pride that you and your organization take into this nationwide series, and certainly you guys have done terrific work there over the past several years. But just talk about this win tonight with Matt Kenseth getting to victory lane.
We love the Nationwide Series. It's obvious. It's a big part of what we do at Joe Gibbs Racing. And I want to say thanks to Kevin. All his team did. We really appreciate that. I was sharing with Matt, I don't know how many times this year between Cup and Nationwide, Matt's had the lead in races, and we've had numerous restarts at the end of the race, and somewhere in there we get nipped by somebody, and this is one where we came out on the other end of it. I really appreciate it. GameStop, all the guys there. We actually had rock candy on the hood there, but it was a big night for us, and really appreciate it. And like I said, we appreciate this series.
Questions now for Coach Gibbs, Kevin Kidd, or Matt Kenseth. If you have one, raise your hand. Any questions from the floor? Bob Pockers.
Thanks for bailing us out, Bob. It's going to be awkward if nobody asks a question.
Wait until you hear the question.
Way to go, Bob. Way to go.
That's why I was doing a good job before he asked it.
I see. This is actually I have 2. First for Matt. Were you surprised at all that Larson took the inside instead of the outside?
Well, I was, except for the fact that I had the lead on the outside, so I was the one who controlled when we started the race, and he beat me and got the lead. So I think how the last one worked, it worked good for him. He got good traction, and was able to get through 1 and 2, fast enough to pass me. So I think he wanted to leave. I'm sure he wanted to leave the pins set up the same as they were for the last restart, because it worked good for him. And
for Joe, Darrell Wallace won his 4th truck race. He's up there last night saying he doesn't know what he's doing next year. Can you shed any light on maybe what you have firmed up for him and what you're looking for him for next year?
Yeah, we got a lot of work we're doing right now. We're going to have a big meeting next week for him, but we've got some good stuff lined up for him for next year. So I think we're going to wind up with a real good package for Darrell.
Other questions? Right here, Zach, raise your hand.
Yes, Zach Albert, NASCAR.com. This is for Coach Gibbs. Just the way the team owner standings shook out, finishing second for the second straight year. How tough is that to swallow, just with all the success you guys had, both with Kyle and with Sam Hornerson, the win.
Yeah, you got to give them credit. The Penske Group, so you got to give them a lot of credit in what they did there. Put a lot of drivers in the car and raced great. We had just a couple of bad situations that happened to us, which cost us again. We don't like it, but we're committed to come back and trying to go after it again. And so we appreciate getting an opportunity to race against real good race teams. And when you do that, you got a chance, to come out on the short end. But like I said, we love the series. We're going to be back next year roaring.
Other questions? Anybody? Right here, Chris.
Just in time.
Yeah, I know. Chris Knight, CatchNS.com. Sorry, it's out in the garage. But Joe, there was rumors this weekend that Daniel Suarez may run the Daytona truck race. I was just wondering if that was the plan, and I apologize if that had been asked earlier.
I'm sorry, one more time.
There was rumors this weekend that Daniel Suarez may run the truck race at Daytona, and I was just wondering if you can confirm or deny that.
Yeah, we got a big package next year for Daniel, and we've got we're going to be racing a lot of truck stuff and nationwide for him. And like I just said, we got a big program for Darrell also. So both of those young guys are going to be in a lot of races for us. So looking forward to next year, and I think it'll be fun.
Anybody else? Well, Matt, Kevin, Coach Gibbs, congratulations on this win here tonight at Homestead, Miami. And certainly thank you for, Coach, your organization for all you continue to do for the Nationwide Series, soon to be the Xfinity Series. But I know, again, how much that means to you guys, and congratulations.
Thanks,
Thank
Gary.
you.
Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it.
Left them on, too. Okay, we thought it would only be appropriate to bring in Jim McCoy, who is the Director of Sports Marketing for Nationwide. And what a great partner and entitlement sponsor they have been to NASCAR. Thankfully, and we're fortunate, they're going to continue in the sport. And but what a terrific entitlement sponsor they have been for this series. And Jim, just want to, on behalf of NASCAR, thank you for that. And maybe just get your thoughts now, moments after, your final race as the entitlement sponsor for this series that builds such great talent coming up through the ranks.
Yeah, definitely bittersweet. It's a great finish to the season. We've got a great champion in Chase. It's a great connection with Junior Motorsports, and obviously where we're headed with Dale. But this series has a bright future. We've learned an incredible amount during our 7 years, and made a lot of great partnerships, including a lot of the folks in this room who have covered our series with such class, and always helped us get our message out there. And we love the sport, as I mentioned earlier today, and are just really happy to continue the relationship with NASCAR as well as Hendrick Motorsports, and celebrate these great 7 years as an entitlement sponsor.
Anyone out here have a question for Jim? Jerry has one.
Jerry Jordan, kicking the tires. With Nationwide going over and sponsoring Dale Jr., what is the business model transition for you guys, and what have you gained over the past with the Nationwide Series sponsorship?
Yeah, 7 years ago we wouldn't have been ready to jump on and be the majority primary with Dale. We'd done some track sponsorships and cut our teeth a little bit of hospitality, but as a series sponsor, it's a total different level of responsibility and how you activate. And as we transition now to Dale, we feel like we're in a great place to really elevate our program, do what we're doing with the NASCAR and the Betty Jane France Humanitarian Award, but also be ready for Sundays and take our campaign work with Dale to a new level. We've seen great growth in our awareness and our consideration with the NASCAR fan base, and really ready to take it to that next level.
Any other questions? Right over here to the left, Chris.
Chris Green, South Dade News Leader. Talk about some of the young talent that's come through and how you guys have helped foster the future of the sport going forward.
Yeah, I think that's been a great part of this relationship is we're really cultivating those stars for tomorrow, and started with Brad and what he did, and obviously becoming a champion at the Cup level, and Ricky going back to back, and our relationship that we've had with him, and he was fantastic for us today or this year at the Cup level, and he's got a bright future, and then obviously Chase and Austin, and the names in our series. It's just amazing the amount of talent, and again, why I think that series has a bright future.
Kenny Bruce right here, please, Kelly.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Jim, when you look back, what stands out? What do you remember about your all's adventure?
It was a wild ride. I mean, it's just went so fast. I mean, that's the kind of the recurring theme. It's amazing. 8 years ago, I remember sitting listening to the Anheuser-Busch folks kind of talk through that. That they're winding down at the Cup Bank or at the Nationwide Banquet in Orlando, and here we are. Fast forward, we're going to be doing the same thing on Monday night. So, just a lot of great people, a lot of great relationships, and from day one, everybody in the sport really opened their arms to us and really helped us do whatever we needed to do. And there was never a no. It was how can we help you? And that just speaks volumes to the people and the quality of the individuals and companies, and NASCAR as a whole. It's a great sport, and we're proud to be a part of it.
Anyone else have a question for Jim? Right over here to the far right.
Dwight Drum, RaceTake.com. Jim, could you maybe kind of like give your best advice to the next sponsor coming in to take your shoes?
Yeah, we're excited for Xfinity, and we've actually been spending some time with them to try to make the transition as smooth as we possibly can. And we've invested a lot as a company and personally, and we want to see them succeed. And it's important to build those relationships early, and treat folks how they need to be treated, and I think do the right things and the little things, because a lot of that stuff really adds up over time, and really showing that you care about what's going on and care for the sport, and invest the resources they need to make sure that the series gets the exposure that it deserves. So we always try to be the squeaky wheel to compete against Cup, and we did our best to find opportunities to do that, and highlight all the great things that were taking place on the Nationwide Series on an annual basis.
Anyone else? Jim, again, I can't thank you enough. I know there's still some more celebration to take place, but and I know the folks in this room want to thank you for all the assistance, cooperation, and availability that you and your folks have had over these past several years. But job well done, and again, thank you.
Thanks, Kerr.
Every time he sees me, he goes, Kerry Thornton, NASCAR.
Okay, we're going to hear from our winning championship team owners in the NASCAR. That's fine. I heard he was. But we're going to go ahead and hear from Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kelly Earnhardt Miller. JR Motorsports wins the 2014 NASCAR Nationwide Series Championship. And Kelly, I'm going to start with you. I know this has been a labor of love and a lot of hard work and effort, and now you are champions in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. I know a series that is very, very near and dear to your hearts, a sponsor that is very near and dear to your hearts, and maybe just talk about the significance and how this feels for you both professionally and personally.
Well, it feels really good. We started this in 2006, and so it is a labor of love. And this year having Napa on board, really 12 months ago, not having anything together for Chase or this team, it's just kind of surreal to be here and to be champions with an 18-year-old driver and a sponsor that has been in Dale and I's court before in our past. So, it's very exciting.
And Dale, just talk about this. You're a two-time NASCAR Nationwide Series championship driver, and now you are a NASCAR Nationwide Series championship owner. And I know that's got to feel pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very satisfying to have been a part of junior motorsports for all these years, and to have came up through the street stocks and late models and Pro Cup Series and everything else we've ever done. The we bought our first car and raced it out of the shop in my backyard, and our first race was here at Homestead at the end of the year. I think it was 05, maybe 06, several years ago. But and we were just trying to go racing, just be in the series, and we had a great partner with Navy to get started, and we went through a lot of growing pains, won some races, worked with a lot of great people, and this championship just really has me reflecting back on all that and all the people that have come through that shop and the people that we have now, the relationships that we've built, partners we've had. It's just been it seems like it's only been 10 years. It seems like it's been 100. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful trip. So I'm glad. Look forward to next year. And we're definitely going to enjoy what we've been able to accomplish this year.
Thank you, Dale. And Rick Hendrick has joined us as well. And Rick, congratulations on this being a part of this championship, and maybe just talk about the significance of JR Motorsports winning the NASCAR Nationwide Series championship, and a young champion like Chase Elliott, what that means to you all.
It's Dale and I talked about, and Kelly, they do all the work. How we could use the company to grow young people, and Dale's always liked to give young drivers a chance, and I've always admired him for that. And I've known these two since they were kids, and we've raced together, we've been together, and to see them get the championship really is rewarding to me inside. And to see Chase, I said I wasn't going to do any more driver development, and then signed him when he was like 15, and boy, he's been unbelievable. But again, Kelly and Dale have worked so hard to build that company, and the success it's had this year with all the wins and developing people like Greg Ives, giving him a shot, and now coming on in the Cup Series to be Dale's crew chief. It's paying tremendous dividends to our company. So, but I'm really, really proud of these guys for all of their effort and putting all of their time, money, and effort into building the company. So this is kind of a unbelievable thing to sit here tonight with Chase winning the championship. But we had, if somebody told me that a year ago when we didn't have a sponsor and didn't know what we were going to do, how many we could run out of our pocket, you look back and it's pretty special.
Thank you, Rick. We'll take questions now for either Kelly, Dale, or Rick. If you have one, raise your hand. We'll start right over here. Chris, and then we'll go to Kenny, and then to Jeff.
Chris Green, South Dade News Leader. Dale, is there extra significance for you that this is Nationwide's last year as a series sponsor, and they're going to be a team sponsor in the future?
Absolutely. I've had such a wonderful time working with them as a personal service for several years, and it's a very genuine relationship, and we're excited. I'm excited to continue to work with them, and I'm glad that they are ready to grow their involvement on that side of it and get on the side of our car. And what they've done with this series, I mean, they came in, and when they're leaving this year, and the series is in a whole lot better place than it was when they started. They've done a wonderful job being a part of our sport and representing our sport, and they really love this series, and this series fits them very well. So I'm excited that they're going to continue to be involved in the sport. Fortunately enough, it's with us, and we're able to grow our relationship we already have with them. So that's just couldn't be better. I couldn't have wrote a better script for that. So very, very happy to have been in the series. We enjoy this series. We have a home in this series. It works for what we want to accomplish, and it fits in how we want to run our business. So we're glad to be a part of it. Look forward to working with Xfinity and continuing our involvement and helping them enjoy their new foray into NASCAR.
Okay, we're going to go now to Kenny Bruce and then Jeff Gluck.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Kelly, were you there last week in Phoenix?
No, I wasn't.
Can you say where you were?
Watching on my television.
Were you screaming?
I was screaming, yeah. It's hunting season, so I was home with the kids while my hubby was out hunting.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Hunting's real important to this Earnhardt family.
Apparently. Dale, you talked about when you guys started the team. What did you envision at that point? I mean, were you looking at it when you guys first started as, hey, we build this thing and we can groom talent and stuff like that, or was it just something you guys wanted to do?
We had Navy was looking for a new beginning, and they had been in the Nationwide Series for a couple years, I believe. They were looking for something fresh, and at the time, Steve Crisp was working with myself and Kelly, and we were a very small company. Kelly can probably tell you how many employees we had on two hands, but we got to talking with Navy, and they said, if you guys want to get into racing as owners, we'd love to be a part of it. And the financing was there, and I was really looking forward to doing that. We'd been in the Pro Cup Series for several years and had good success there. So we bought a car from RCR, I believe.
Yeah.
Or no, we bought a DEI car that
Actually, it was one
Menard
year
had
old.
drove.
Yeah, I thought we had
It was
a
a
couple year old
15. I think it was a car that Menard raced in the Nationwide Series for DEI, and we brought it here with Mark McFarland as the driver, and Wes Ward was the crew chief. We had a used pit box that me and Wes barely fit on together, and we just wanted to race. We didn't have at the time, and I knew it. We didn't have the resources to compete with the guys up front, but we were just trying to get out there and be a part of it, and we just wanted to compete. And I can't take a lot of credit for how well we've done since. I know we've got a lot of people that have come into our company and influenced that. Kelly's steered the ship, and people like Greg Ives and the Uris and all these people that have been through the company have helped us climb another rung on the ladder one year at a time to where we are.
Let's go to Jeff Gluck and then to Bob Pockris.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. For Dale and Kelly, can you say the name of your team? Can we get like an agreement on
Junior Motorsports.
How many times do we have to go through that?
Well, just since you're a champion now and you're both up there, like I'm not totally clear.
It's Junior Motorsports.
It's Junior
I keep
Motorsports.
screwing it up. I can't get it right.
And only Jeff would call that out.
Junior Motorsports. All right, let's go to Bob.
Bob Pockris, Sporting News. I have two. The first for Dale Jr. and Kelly. Can you talk about like how you're organized in the sense, like, Kelly, do you pretty much run things, and what do you? Do you do stuff without telling Dale, or do you have to tell him, like, pretty much everything you're doing?
Well, that's a good question. How we're organized, I run the day-to-day with a staff of 120 people. Joe Mattis, VP of Marketing and Licensing, is really my right hand. I'm there Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. And I was thinking about that earlier when Dale was going through and Mr. Hendrick was giving Dale and I credit. We really, all of us have our own talents that we bring to this organization as owners. And Dale, he is out there on the front line for us with all of our sponsors and leveraging relationships so that we can make this work. And we're behind the scenes juggling and marketing and figuring out how we can do it from that standpoint. And without Mr. Hendrick and when we merged with him in 2008, Dale was right. We didn't have the resources to do this. We were several million in the hole at that point. Mr. Hendrick will tell you he was in the hole at that point too. Somehow when we came together, we all cleared the hole somehow. But it's
I cut my losses.
Yeah, it's been good since then. Champs entered the house, but you know, we all I do a lot of things that you know, Dale isn't on board with. Not on board that he doesn't agree, but he, you know, I don't have to tell him everything, and that's nice. And Mr. Hendrick doesn't make me tell him everything either. But I call Mr. H a lot. I call his staff a lot. Doug Dukart and I talk a lot. Ryan Pemberton. It's really just a team group effort. But on a day-to-day basis, you know, I'm right there handling things. But we've got big decisions to make. The three of us are making those by text and email and figuring it out.
And I have one more.
Okay.
For Rick, does tonight kind of take away some of the sting of what I assume is not going to be a very fun day for you tomorrow?
I guess, yeah. Yeah, tomorrow's pretty painful. I can't remember coming down here when we weren't in it somehow. But hey, it's racing, and you know, we've had a good year. We got 13 wins, and engine shops won 19, I think, cup races 18, and you know, this championship with Chase and to see again Junior Motorsports. That's it. You know, we had this idea of getting this together and standing up there tonight crowning the champion. It's pretty special, and you know. If Jeff Gordon finishes in front of those guys tomorrow, I'll be a little disappointed more probably. But I hate it for Dale. I think somehow if we had I don't say a mulligan, but if the points were just between the top 16, then it would be a real dogfight to the end. But that's the rules, and you know, we'll come back next year and try to be in it. So you know, it's just racing, and we'll go on. But I can't tell you how proud I am of these guys here sitting beside me and Chase Elliott, because he is so much better than I even dreamed he could be. His maturity and what his mom and dad have done to prepare him, he is wise way beyond his years. So you know, I'm super thrilled about that. That's what I'm going to enjoy here at Homestead.
We're going to take about 3 more questions and then hear from Chase. I think Kyle had one, Dustin, and then we'll finish right over here. Let's get him the mic, please.
Kyle McCurry, My Fox Carolinas. Talk to me about just the passion that goes into driver development for this team. It starts at late model and goes all the way up through nationwide. What is it that drives both of you and even LW in this?
Well, I think that I enjoy racing the late models because it's a little bit easier at that level to give some guys opportunities to race. You're only talking about hundreds of dollars to go down to Hickory and run on the weekend, and to race in the nationwide series, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars a weekend to race and try to get a guy an opportunity. It's a bigger hill to climb. And also there's a grassroots feeling about it, and feeling like you're still connected to where you started. Gives me a real good sense of pride. And I go to those. I went to Hickory and watched Josh run a 100-lapper a couple weeks ago. I hadn't seen him race in a long time. I hadn't been to a late model show in a long time, and that was the funnest thing, just being there and watching that race. And I wanted to be out there so bad. I'm trying to figure out how I can sneak out there and run a couple without anybody knowing. But on the nationwide side, we were able to get Josh in a car, and we ran him tonight, and we ran him at Iowa, and we've given Bowman and all kinds of guys opportunities, and it's a real challenge to find the support you need to get those guys in the seat, but it happens, and you just kind of got to keep pushing and plugging and pulling to to make it work, and you got to be very patient too as the driver. It's hard to tell Josh Berry to wait his turn, but or any driver really that wants that opportunity. And you see, and what's crazy now is that the way the sports sort of evolved, we've got more talent out there than we got race cars. You're seeing so much talent in the K&N series and the truck series and even in the Nationwide series that there's just so many guys out there that I think that have a real good speed and just need the right brakes with the right people and right equipment. And there's only so many races and so many partners and so many race teams. But that's a good problem to have when you got more drivers than you got cars. But it's I enjoy it, especially when they run well. Bowman run the way he ran at Phoenix, man, that was great to see, and I can't imagine what that did for his confidence. He's been out there plugging away in that 23 car, grinding his guts out all year long, trying to just stay in the sport somehow, and he's able to get in that car and really show what he's capable of and how fast he can be. And if somebody, hopefully the right person saw him that day. And if we can't help him, someone else can. So that's just the kind of stuff I like to do.
Let's go to Dustin, and then we'll finish over here with Jay.
Dustin Long, MRN.com. Kelly, we heard Dale talk about kind of his recollections, or things that kind of come to mind with winning this championship, of the things he went through. What are the things that come to mind from the beginnings of your perspective and what you guys went through?
Gosh, really the same things. I feel like when we started in 2005, it was the spring that we had decided that maybe we'd go nationwide racing in 2007, and we're having conversations, and then the Navy thing came together in the fall of 05 and pushed us to start in 2006. And they said if you want to do this with our money, we need to be there in 2006. And it, literally, we bought a building in September and we moved in January and we started our race team. So it seemed like it was a lot easier then than it is now. But like Dale said, we struggled those first few years just with a rotation of drivers and trying to figure it out and get it right. And then when we in 2008, when we got the opportunity to run Brad full time, and he was just such a great talent to have him for a couple years. It's hard to see people move in and out of our seats as drivers. I know that's what we're there for, but it keeps us on our toes, each year to fill the car with talent and partner them with sponsors so that we can continue to make it all work. But it's a lot of fun and it's very rewarding because it is so much more challenging now to put all the pieces together that it takes to compete in the series.
How often did you guys look at each other and go, what are we doing?
Probably once every 2 years.
I was like, we had an aha moment a couple years ago, and we're like, what are we doing?
When the whole sport
Mr. Hendrick,
I think that was difficult on everybody.
Mr. Hendrick asked us what we're doing more often because he's got a lot more experience than we do. But it really is. Carrie alluded to it. It's a labor of love, and we don't do it because we're padding our pockets, but we do it because we give opportunities to people like Chase Elliott and Josh Berry and Regan Smith and Eric Amarola and Brad Kozlowski and the crew chiefs that have come through. That's the vision that Dale had when he started Junior Motorsports, and it's we're continuing to keep that up, whether it's crew members or drivers, and that's really the passion that we have for it. And our employees, when I think about how hard it is, I think about the 120 people that we feed and all of their families, and that they have the same passion that we do for the sport, and that's why they do it. And I think that's what keeps us going.
Final question over here. Jay?
Jay Pennell with Fox Sports. You talked about the way you guys felt when you got into this. What does this championship mean for the future of junior motorsports and attracting these sponsors to put these guys in these cars and things like that?
Well, I think for me, in the Nationwide Series and for our company, we've never really looked too far into the future, and our partnerships and programs typically are short-term, year to year. So I know that as the economy sort of rebooted and we paired ourselves with Greg and Chase and Also, Harvick. I mean, I know the phone's been ringing a lot more often, especially due to the success we've had. So hopefully that more partners want to get involved with what we're doing. And I think the success on the racetrack and performance on the racetrack has always reflected that. When we were running well, we had an abundance of opportunity, and when we struggled inside and outside the car. So I think that this definitely is, going to propel us maybe into a new realm that we've not experienced yet. And I think we got a great staff and a lot of great employees ready for it, and look forward. We got another year next year with Chase. We're excited to continue our relationship with Napa and Harvick and all that stuff's coming back, and he's excited. We're working with Regan again. I mean, everything is really in. We got 3 great full teams, and I remember the years when we would contemplate whether we were going to a 1-car team or not in the off season. I mean, it's just you just work 1 year at a time in this series. I don't know if it's any different in a cup level, but it's I like that challenge. As tough as it can be at times, it's almost part of the enjoyment when you succeed at doing it.
Well, congratulations to Junior Motorsports on this championship. Kelly, Dale, Mr. Hendrick, thank you for coming in, and enjoy this championship.